I'm excited, folks. Tonight's guest, he has a heart out, so we're going to be efficient with his time. He is an artist, a writer, a musician. Let me welcome to the show Mr. Daniel Warren Johnson. Hey, and look at that. You actually have some music for us.
Not really.
Just since you have it there, Dan, I wanted to plug your website. You have a lovely Friday show, Friday with D-Dubs, where you'll draw and stuff like that. Here, let me just show folks, in case you don't know, Dan has this really nice YouTube channel where you can see him drawing and inking every Friday, talking about what's new with him. It's a really nice, chill environment. But you also recently uploaded some music that you did with your band. And
Oh, yes.
I loved that, man. When I
Thank
met
you.
my wife, she was in a band. She played violin like one of your musicians here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was a little nervous about putting a music thing on my YouTube, but I don't know. I guess YouTube doesn't like it when you deviate from like what you normally post.
YouTube is finicky. Yes, that's part of why I do this live show on a second channel than Comic Tropes, because it just started, like, the algorithm just totally borked my show as soon as I started doing live streams. Very strange. Very strange. We are here specifically to talk about your current Kickstarter campaign, if you had a minute or two. I know
Yeah.
you've got a heart out, so I was hoping to get right to it, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, for the people who don't know, I am taking swing dancing lessons with my wife. So, which
Is that
is 7 o'clock my time, and it only takes like 5 minutes to get there.
okay?
So, yeah, so we got some time. Got a
That's
few minutes.
awesome. My wife and I keep looking at into doing like a dance class, because it's like it would just be nice to know how to do that at like parties, but also we're thinking like it's a little bit of exercise. It keeps you active.
I get my I mean, like I only have to walk for an hour on the days where I dance because I get my steps in while dancing.
That's
And I am
amazing.
obsessed with it. Like I need my 10,000. So yeah, but we've been doing it since before we had kids, and then we obviously took a little break when
Oh
the
my
kids
God.
came. Yeah, it's been awesome. We can tear it up. We're not
Okay.
like pros or anything, but we definitely know what we're doing at this point.
That's amazing. Have you ever like impressed some friends or family at like a wedding, anything like that?
Yes, but swing music, you can dance swing style to pop music. It is possible, but it definitely works better with actual like da 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 da. Da. So we kind of wait for those songs that are not super popular, believe it or not, on the modern dance floor. So, uh,
I know you know music signatures because you actually worked it into Transformers. You have jazz talking in musical time.
251, baby, one of the
That
most
was really
famous
cool.
chord progressions of all time. Yeah,
That was really cool,
thank you.
giving him like a little bit of an authentic personality to his character.
I don't know if I'm
Um,
going to be able to actually do it, but the goal is every time Jazz opens his mouth to have it be some sort of musical reference or pun. I mean, I'm just going to go for it.
yeah, that's good. And maybe if you do well enough, they'll let you write a Mr. Freeze book full of puns. Full, nice to meet you. Um, Extremity was a book that was actually published, of course, back in 2017, if I'm remembering everything right,
I
through
think you're right.
Skybound.
Yep.
I read, and you always have to take this with a grain of salt. I read on Wikipedia that you had originally pitched it back in 2015. Does that sound accurate? That there was that kind of a gap
That is
between
accurate.
what what
Um,
what accounted for that gap?
well, I think that the first issue of Extremity came out in October, I think, of 2016.
Okay,
Because I was working on it through the summer of 2015. Because I pitched it in early 2015, Skybound. Then I was finishing up Alabaster at the time before I
right.
could start. And then I started writing it on my trip to Japan with Felix Comic Art. That was August 2015. I wrote issue 1 on the way there to Japan and wrote issue 2 on the way back. It's a long flight. And,
Yes, it is.
uh, from there, I I just kind of hit the ground running with art, and so like August to mid-August, just grinding,
Got it.
grinding all the way until I finished the art, which was I finished issue 12 of Extremity like October, October or November, 2017.
Okay,
So
that
yes,
makes
but
sense, I
I think
guess.
it did come out in late 2016. So
That
yeah,
makes
so
sense.
not quite as long of as a gap maybe as
No, no, I guess not. When I look at this, like to me, maybe it's because I'm old. I'm like, oh, Extremity wasn't that long ago. I think of Daniel Warren Johnson as the up and coming hot thing in comics, but it was almost 10 years ago now. We're
True.
coming up on it anyway,
Yep.
and I'm curious. Has your process changed much
Mhm.
from what you were drawing then in terms of like either tools or a work schedule, or has it been pretty consistent?
I think it's pretty apparent that my style changed a fair amount. From especially from like Extremity to Murder Falcon.
Mm,
Um, I look back at my Extremity pages now, and there's like a lot of lines on those pages. Maybe more so than like on Murder Falcon, because I had kids when I had my first kid during right in the middle of issue 2 of Murder Falcon art.
wow.
Uh, and issue 3 is me struggling, figuring out how to get sleep, be a dad to a newborn baby. Issue 3 of Murder Falcon is still tough for me because I remember so vividly the lack of sleep and adventures of parenting. But Extremity, I was just, I was married and no kids and just basically a free man. So a lot of time was put into those pages. And especially with the battle at the end, like issues 10 through 12. That's ooh, boy, really just put it all out there. I was
Yeah.
going so hard.
I'm just trying to like show at least a little of it to
Yeah,
folks if they haven't read it here. And now that you say that, there are a lot of like sort of thinner sort of lines in some of the action scenes and stuff. That's an interesting yeah, even like the way you sort of draw movement. You're
yep.
much more willing to use some really bold, thick lines these days on Transformers as the more recent example.
Some of
Hmm.
that is out of necessity,
Hmm,
I think part of it is style because yeah, it is all out
look
of
at that.
necessity because if I was able to just sit and noodle forever, I would. And I had the time to do that on Extremity, which I think this original art, the scans will show. That's the hope.
Well, that's what was interesting to me is I read this one thing, and I did support it, of course, myself. So I'm
Awesome.
having it
Thank
here in
you.
case. Well, no, of course, I'm definitely interested. Um, does it say that up here? Yeah, you're a backer there. But I wanted to ask this, is it mentions in the descriptions that that you guys scanned your original artboards, you scanned them in color and you're printing them in color. Now
That's
this
correct.
is the black and white art. It's not, Mike Spicer does great stuff on yours, but this is the black and white art, but you're printing it as like a color scan. Did you notice any sort of fidelity or change when you did that? Did you do
Oh,
some tests?
well, that image that you're scrolling
Oh,
by there of Thea
this
like kind of crash landing, yeah, you see how it's kind of bluey,
I do.
bluish, and up on the smoke too. Um, that kind of the whiteout that I use just has that kind of effect on black ink. It kind of goes cool when
Mm,
it's not completely opaque, which it very rarely is. It does need a little bit of water to get off the brush. Um, and I think there's some sticker. I think it's like a white. If you zoom in on that little image of Thea, like I'm pretty sure I
wait,
pasted up.
this or
Yeah, like Thea, like
oh,
right
yeah, right
there.
down here.
Yeah, there's a
Huh.
little piece of
Let me
tape.
see if I can zoom in any more than that.
No, it's
Um,
cool.
yeah,
It's
I have limited,
it's
tools,
all
but yeah.
good. It's all good. I so like the nothing is perfectly black and white in this world. That's
Fair.
no no statement intended really. Literally like, the paper that I use has a little bit of yellowing sometimes, or I might
Yeah,
spill some coffee on it, or
maybe down
that
here.
bluing that I mentioned. It
Right.
all kind of adds to the presentation of like if you could actually take a picture or a photograph of the original art, it's best to do it in color. Um, so you can just actually see what the pages really look like. And
Yeah. You know what? Just looking at this, like you can see the perfect white of the paper, and there's
Yep.
almost a yellowness to whether it's Bristol or something similar. So sure.
Or gunk. I'm very messy. Also, I'm pretty sure a lot of these pages got stepped on by accident at one time or another.
But this is fun. So you've got a signature edition plus the art book that has some, behind the scenes sketches and,
Yep.
and details. I mean, you have to feel pretty good about how fast this funded. Less than 30 minutes, fully funded.
It's amazing. I can't believe it.
So, would you be willing to hint to us what kind of things we could potentially unlock if this keeps going at the current pace?
Okay, so can you scroll up to the top of the page? I should
Yes.
know this, but I'm not positive. Let me
Let me
see.
scroll
So
to the top.
something that I think is new that just got added.
The
Next. So
slipcase.
yes, so the slipcase, I did specific art for the slipcase as a stretch goal. So if we hit
Okay.
200,000, we're going to add that. And that is going to be like on the actual slipcase on the outside, and it's going to have like a spot gloss, which I'm pretty excited about because the slipcase will be matte and so we'll have like a spot. I don't know. It looks really sexy and not over designed, which I'm very happy about. It just is kind of simple and will look good on a bookshelf.
Oh, that's
Uh,
exciting.
yeah, so that's 200,000. So hopefully we'll hit that. And
I think that that's very realistic. Just to be
yeah,
clear, folks, this is less than a week at this point, and yeah, they're at 189,000. So I mean, yeah, that's
two,
it. Go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say the team at Skybound it really has their crap together because I don't know anything about putting a Kickstarter campaign together. They do. They know all the little tiers. They know exactly what to do and how to present it. And so I'm just kind of along for the ride, if I'm totally honest. So when you ask me questions about the campaign, I
Yeah.
can say that's great.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm more curious, of course, about like like the art and the history behind it and
Totally.
stuff. But it obviously shows, and hopefully you're feeling it at this point. That you've got a growing audience. You've got a really engaged audience because this funded quickly. We all know that Transformers has been doing very very well. Um, so I'm curious, like about that. Before you do Transformers there must be some pressure of like, how people will react. But then it clearly does do well and people really like what you're doing.
Hmm.
Is that creating a different type of pressure or different feelings from your end?
It's a great question. When I started Transformers, I honestly after what came before? Do a power bomb. So do a power bomb. My series was quite successful, I would say, especially for a wrestling comic, which I was very happy about. Um, to the point where I thought it'd be very wise to just go and do like another creator on book immediately. Uh, which is everybody says like building IP, which feels kind of calculated to say, but it is true. You know, it's a good way to hopefully uh pay for my kids' college someday. That's the goal. Uh, but I was talking about it with friends, family, and my wife, and I was like, "But I just really want to do Transformers. Like, I want to."
Yeah. You
Yes,
about to go?
my wife is giving me the.
I knew we had to get like it wrapped up right now. I
Oh
want
no,
you to do
I'll
that.
finish. Also, I'll finish the thought really fast. So, uh, all that to say, um, I'm trying to not think about the pressure and try to remember the fact that the reason I took Transformers in the first place was because I was so excited about it and I wanted to draw Optimus Prime a lot to help pay my mortgage. and uh, so I did it and people resonated with it and that's something I have no control over and I continue to have no control over whatever may come out of my fingers next or my mind. So I try and keep my mind on the fact that I'm here to mostly have fun and I do make
I
some
hope.
business decisions here and there, but yeah, that's the goal. So if I keep it that way, what I'm really trying to say is I cry at night when no one can see me. The pressure is insane, but I'm trying to have a good attitude about it.
I hope you're not putting too much on yourself, Dan. We sincerely, I'm speaking for my audience. I'm seeing some really lovely comments. I think we're really excited to see what you do. You've got a different point of view. Um, I know you need to get going, so I'll leave it there. But I'll also just say I hope you remain engaged on some level with Transformers, because you're doing some really fun things with it. It's really fun. And
Thank you very much.
I hope that my audience considers checking out the Extremity Kickstarter. I'll put that back up here.
Yes, please check it out. Give it a look. And I've also been looking at all of these amazing comments. Thank you so much, everyone, for the notes of encouragement and the love on the books that I have made and have made in the past and are making now. You're all the best. Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome. I'm sorry I have to go.
No, it's fine.
I am on my way out. I'm going to go do a Lindy Circle. So
have fun. Thank your wife for us.
We will. I will. I'll see you later.
Care. All right. That was a lightning round interview, right?